Alright. Welcome back, everybody, to another session of Silversong. We were off for a week, so it does feel like it's been a while. People arrived. Yes, thanks for the resubs, everybody, and the little hype train that happened there. Very, very grateful for that, and I appreciate all of you. So, last time on Silversong, on their path venturing through the deep green domain, a large evergreen forest, heading south towards Sulcan Shore in their pursuit of more information about this mystical lyre that is said to be able to cure diseases. The party happened upon a small little cottage in the woods, with Gale being a little bit curious as to what may lie inside of it. They found one of the windows unlocked, and Gale crawled his way inside and unlocked the door for the others. After looking around what seemed to just be a normal cabin, they found a trapdoor with a locked mechanism in it, and did a bit of investigation to find that the trapdoor had a... That was weird, that didn't move. Strange. The trapdoor had a mechanism hidden in the fireplace, which unlocked it. So they headed down and found long, twisting stone hallways in a much larger area than perhaps was expected. They took one path and found sort of a small little alchemist's workshop, where there was all sorts of components strewn around, ingredients and oddball items, as well as some empty glass bottles. And most noteworthy was a piece of parchment which had a list of ingredients scrawled across it, as well as instructions on perhaps what to do with them. The only thing missing from the parchment was what the recipe made. So the party poked around a little bit and found some of what they believed to be the ingredients on this list, though they were missing a few. So they headed down the opposite path, taking the other direction, and came to a rather large storage room where there were all sorts of crates and barrels and boxes full of various components and tools and ingredients, in which they began to look around, hunting for some of those ingredients they were missing, but they were set upon by some rats who had been chewing on said spell components and had sort of absorbed a mix of the properties, becoming sort of mutant rats who attacked the players. Kaj excluded, as he decided to wait back in the little lab and look over some of the components a little bit further. So after fighting off the rats in what was a relatively close fight, the others quickly made their way back to Kaj in order to receive some healing magic. And when they got back to Kaj, they had found that he had been messing around a little bit with some of the arcane sugar that they'd found in the Alchemist lab, and had accidentally activated it, casting a confusion spell on himself. So as they walked back into the lab, he was under the impression that they were large walking, talking teapots. But soon after talking with them, after a little bit of confusion, the spell faded, and he was once again able to recognize his party members. After which they did a bit of healing. I think maybe you guys short rested. And that was where we ended the session. So where we return is to that little lab down one of the side paths where Tibber was resting from some of his injuries in the hammock, and the others were discussing what to do next.
Did we actually take a short rest? Because I didn't do it. If we did,
I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if you guys used hit die or if Kaj did all the healing.
I think he just healed
I did all
us.
the healing, yeah.
Yeah, Kaj got 9s.
I believe Kaj is
Across
doing
the
the healing.
board.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense then. Alrighty.
We're just missing a sprite wing, right?
I think so, yeah.
Alright.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Kill
Wait, what else did you guys find over there?
rats. Just
Those
lots
rats
of
messed you up that bad?
Okay, they weren't normal. I told you that.
Sorry, I'm, yeah.
One was a bird, one was a bat, then there was like a spider one, and then there was a pile of goo, which I think was a rat, but I never saw that one. And then I don't know, there was a fat one.
I just remembered. What are sprites?
Well, aren't they like magical creatures? Like, kind of like Harvey, right?
Hmm. Never seen a sprite before.
Hmm.
Oh well.
Maybe we'll know when we see it.
Oh, and you said something about another room, right, Gail?
Mm-hmm.
Is,
Why does it sound
Tibbs
like
coming?
you're eating something?
He is gone.
So you make your way back along the stone halls. Tibber, were you coming with, or
Nope, he is asleep.
he's asleep?
Unless somebody wakes him up.
Very well.
Gail, don't go too far ahead. Wait, why are there only 3 of us? Where's Tibbs?
He's sleeping.
How did we lose the biggest member of our party?
Oh, I saw him there. You want to wake him up?
So you progress down the long hallway back towards the storage room. Let me just get rid of Tibbs, and I'll bring Kaj. And make your way back out into that larger room with the tall rows of storage space, crates and barrels and sacks, as well as miscellaneous tools and oddball items. Kaj, as you make your way out into this room, you see a few corpses strewn throughout. Up, sort of off to your left, as soon as you enter the room, you can just see sort of a greenish black splatter stain along the ground there.
So you guys did have some fun without me.
I don't know what this is. Can River see if this is poisonous or something?
You could make a medicine check if Kaj wants to help you.
Of the goo.
He can.
Is it poisonous?
then I'll check it out.
Can
I
I
have
also
no idea what that is.
Wait.
I'll let Ruva roll too,
Okay. What is it?
since you're
Medicine?
both doing it. Yeah, just medicine. Since
Oh
you're both doing
no.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
It certainly looks like nothing you'd want to touch, but not sort of like able to distinguish particularly if it's a poison or just sort of some sort of goo. I guess the only thing you'd be able to tell is that it's not acidic because it's not melting the stone. So that's about it.
Okay. That looks gross.
And so, Kaz, you find several more rat corpses throughout the halls as you roam them. This one that you're right up next to has sort of scorch marks all over it. You can see some of its fur is a little bit singed.
What a way to go.
That's the fat one. What's in here again?
I don't recall what I said last time.
Uh-oh. It's probably fine.
If I don't remember, then it probably wasn't anything.
Yeah,
that you
it
guys
probably
need.
wasn't in here. Is that a letter? Is it a specific letter?
No, it's just I can't control the asset. These are just sort
Okay.
of boxes. Some of them wood, some of them sort of wrapped cloth parcels that are just sort of full of all sorts of various instruments and tools.
Are there any books that stand out?
Much like the books in the other room, they're an assortment of just sort of very all over the place titles. There's books on plants from all sorts of regions, including ones that you don't really think are within Middlemere. There's desert plants and all sorts of odd things. Books on mushrooms, books on insects, books on the various forms of grass found in the area.
This collection is impressive.
Yes, I'm restraining myself from reading any of them right now.
Well, I mean,
Did we go any deeper?
sorry, I'm getting distracted by so much knowledge. So this was the room you were talking about, Kale.
This is a door, not a room.
Well, I'm assuming it goes to a room, right?
Sure.
I guess it could go to anything.
Before we go
Fine.
anywhere, I probably want to get the big guy.
Oh yeah.
Already opening.
No. Last time you did that, there was an alarm.
Creak.
I want to get him real quick, Ruba.
Okay, fine. Ruva's gonna try to very quickly make her way with her short little legs.
All right. So Ruva dashes back through the storage chamber, weaving her way around the rows of crates, making her way back down the hallway. But Gil, as you creak this door open, with Kaj standing next to you, give me one moment. This is what the two of you see. So the room that you open the door to has multiple people inside of it, and you can see several tables set up in the center of the room itself, strewn with bottles of potion bottles filled with multicolored liquids, as well as bowls and spoons and all sorts of items strewn across it. You can see these larger glass vats that sort of bubble with liquid as well as all sorts of instruments lying around. You can see closets and tables all spread along the walls, as well as cauldrons and more, even larger glass vats in the corners of the chamber as well. The people that you see as you open this door are staring directly at you. Whatever alarm you may have triggered before has certainly made them aware of your presence, and they seem to have been waiting for you as they all stare at you. Some of them sort of hunch down kind of behind the table a little bit, but they have weapons drawn, some of them with just sort of your standard sword, one of them with a crossbow, one of them holding potion bottles in their hand. But these seem to be alchemists by trade. They are wearing aprons covered in all sorts of stains of all sorts of colors, and you can see even more of those stains along the wooden floor below you. And as you open this door, they appear to have been waiting for you, and one of them shouts, a short-looking dwarven fellow with a beard, says, "All right then, not another step. We've heard you out there."
I was just gonna like just put its hands up and be like, "Oh, okay, we're not gonna hurt you."
You have any Sprite Wing?
Not here to hurt us, eh? Well, that'll be determined. All right, both of you through the door and close it behind you.
Do you have Sprite Wing?
We'll discuss that in a moment. Not another step, lad. Now then, first things first. Why are you down here?
Seemed cool.
I see. Seemed cool.
We don't get out much.
All right. And you just thought you'd take a wander through someone else's property?
I was just curious.
All right. Well, curiosity is one thing, but you activated the mechanism to get down here as well, I assume.
Hmm?
The trap door. It's supposed to be locked.
That's right. Supposed to be. Honestly, if you're gonna have a trap door, maybe you should have it covered, like a rug.
You see him just sort of let out a sigh and sort of roll his eyes. All right, well, playing a little bit coy, but who sent you here?
We did.
No one sent us here specifically. We just kind of happened across it.
Just happened across it.
We're just travelers.
So you happened across a little cabin in the woods and decided to break in, and I'm supposed to expect that you're just travelers, as you say.
Ah, don't blame me.
Then who do we blame, lad?
No, me. Blame me.
He looks over at you, Kosh. So then are you to blame?
Me? Oh no, it's Gil.
Hmm?
I don't.
Like, oh, Gil is that guy, and I point at Gil.
It's only my fault. I'm the one who came in through the back window.
All right, then why's your friend down here too?
Make sure he doesn't break anything.
Exactly. Stick
I
together
see.
and all that.
Well, we heard some rattling from out in the hall. Have you broken
Yeah,
anything?
No, but you have a rat problem.
He sort of nods a little bit and kind of shrugs. Well, I can't argue on that. I can't. We do have
I
a
think
bit of
you
a rat
had a
problem.
rat problem, actually.
What do you mean?
Well, they've been taken care of, at least the ones in that room.
You're saying you killed them all?
I want to point at Gale again.
He looks at you, Gil. Oh, well, I suppose I should offer my thanks for that. Rats tend to be a bit annoying around here, especially when they get into the components.
Yeah, they scare you. That happened to me.
Indeed. Well then, why don't you two lads have a seat? He sort of motions slightly, and the others kind of relax a little bit. The one that was kind of crouching behind the table stands up slightly. Now this fellow's Gale and the other one you are.
It's Kaj.
Gosh, I see. He does not introduce himself in turn. He just sort of sits at a chair across from you and says, well then, you said your travellers, whereabouts are you headed?
We're on a quest.
A quest? How noble. What sort of quest?
We're looking for a lyre. The musical kind.
Ah, the musical kind. I see, I see. Just any old lyre. Seems like
Very
an easy
daunting.
quest.
There's a lyre, a tale about a lyre.
He kind of sits there and puzzles, kind of scratching his beard for a little bit. And rolls in 17 on his intelligence check and says, you mean the old children's story?
Ah, yes.
You're telling me you're chasing after children's tales?
Afraid so.
That's right.
It's for someone in dire need.
Seems a bit of a fool's errand, if you ask me.
Have you ever heard of the Silver Vein?
Silver Vein. Refresh my memory. Though it does sound a little familiar.
I look at Gosh.
Oh, it's a lot like what it sounds like. And we've been having a hard time curing it so far. A friend of ours back home.
Curing it, so it's a disease then.
It's kind of seems that way, but it's kind of hard to say. That's why we're out here chasing miracles.
I see. You folk are healers, apothecaries then.
Look back at Gale.
No.
No, just your regular adventuring type then.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I just go where the wind goes.
I just
see.
go with him where the wind goes.
All right. And the wind led you here.
Mm-hmm. I like your place.
Indeed, it is a humble little spot, but serves our purposes. One of the other alchemists, a much taller human man, wearing kind of similar leathers and a long apron. He's got sort of spectacles braced up against his forehead in his kind of tangled hair. Sits down at one of the chairs across from you as well. One of the other ones, a woman, also wearing sort of a stained smock, begins to sort of actually get back to work. She turns over to one of the tables here, begins chopping up what looks to be some sort of green-looking plant. Now, tell me, lads, where do you think you're standing right now? He kind of raises one eyebrow as he says that.
Underneath the house, of course.
Underneath the house we intruded into.
Of course, we've established that part quite well. But right now, where do you think you stand? This very room. Just kind of expectantly waits for an answer.
A
Just
lab
kinda-
of some sort.
Scanning back. A lab of some sort. Suppose you're on the right track. Now, here's where we come to a bit of an impasse, lads. Nobody's supposed to know where this lab is, and well, the two of you, you know where this lab is.
But we don't know what it does. And if you don't tell us, there's no harm.
Aye, but you see, orders are orders, and well, nobody's supposed to know where this lab is, period. So you
course,
can
yeah.
see where our problem lies. Now, I myself, I'd love to let you just waltz up and out of here. No harm done. But I'm afraid that's not possible.
Is that?
Well,
If you really wanted to let us go, you just do it.
I could, but then it'd come back on old Duvron's head. That's me. He points to himself. And well, we don't want that, do we?
I mean,
Okay.
you.
As he
You are
says we don't want that, he just kind of makes a motion across his neck with his thumb, sort of slicing it off.
You're kind of making an assumption.
Believe me, lad. Without the context that I have, you might think I'm making an assumption, but trust me, lad. I know.
No, not an assumption on you. I'm sure you'd be dead. The assumption is that we would say anything.
Aye, well. Still. How can I know?
What do you want? What would easy stuff?
Well, the only arrangement that I can see is... he sort of pauses for a moment and strokes his beard and then says, Bridget, you still have that potion. You know the one I'm talking about, as she kind of shrugs her shoulders. And then she quickly hops up from her stool and begins rifling around in one of the cabinets. And then she brings over a tall, thin vial of purple liquid and places it down in front of Duvron. And then makes her way back to her stool and gets back to work. And Duvron kind of holds the potion in his hands and just sort of turns it sideways, sloshing the liquid in the corked vial back and forth and says, well, I'm afraid our only option here, unless we have to turn to violence, would be for you to drink this.
What does it do?
It'll wipe your memory of the past day.
Do we both have to take it?
Aye. Otherwise there's no point at all. The other one could just remind the other one.
All right.
Gosh, tell her that's what it actually does.
You can make a medicine check or an investigation check to attempt to determine if that's what it does.
Okay.
All right. The potion sort of bubbles slightly and churns within the vial as he kind of turns it in his hands. You squint your eyes and kind of investigate it as he raises an eyebrow, waiting for your answer as to whether or not you want to accept his little offer here. And investigating it further, from what it looks like, you think it'll certainly knock you unconscious, but as for whether or not it wipes your memory, hard to say.
It's well ended here.
Careful, Gale.
What? Why?
Raises an eyebrow at you, Kosh, as you say that. Careful.
Right. I don't even know your name, friend. Would drink something you just handed me.
Well, I have introduced myself. I'm Duvron.
How you
We should
feeling,
do
Gale?
run.
I am Duvron, but you won't be knowing that information much longer, unfortunately. Well then, lads, have we come to a conclusion? I'd hate to see this turn to violence. You seem like nice chaps yourself. At this point, if Ruva had no difficulty waking Tibber up, then you guys are back at the door.
Yeah, he would have waken up.
Okay, then you guys are out front of a closed door as Kaj and Gale closed it behind them in the storage chamber. So what would you two like to do at this moment?
Well, if Tibber knew that they had gone through, he'd just gone through
Yeah.
too.
I guess, yeah, you wouldn't know necessarily exactly what they did, as Ruva kind of left right when they were standing out front of the door. But seeing that they're not there, you would probably assume that they went inside.
Yeah, Ruva heard the not subtle sounds of Gale opening the door, which is why she booked it faster. So she assumes they're in there.
Indeed.
I don't think Tibber's gonna think too hard about it. He'd probably just open the door.
You buddy.
Very well. Then as the two of you, Kaj and Gil, are deciding as to what action you want to take, you hear the door behind you open. And standing in the doorway is Ruva and Tibber.
Got him, guys. You would not believe how easy it was to.
And
Are they with you? Point to Duva or Duvron.
not with me. I assumed they were friends of yours, lad.
I don't know who they are.
That's so. If you're going to lie to him, make a deception check, and he will insight check it.
Okay.
You got a 16.
That's fair. He's not a liar.
Not friends of yours, you say?
What's going on here?
Well, I was just having a sit down with my new acquaintances. Feel free to join us, you two, as you seem to know them.
Know who?
You can make a deception check as well.
Oh boy.
All right. He got pretty close to yours. He rolled a 12. So with the combined failure of Gale and the slight success of yours, he's uncertain right now, I would say. Well, this has turned into a bit of a headache, hasn't it?
Well, what's going on here?
You know you can use Clearbell for that.
If you took it, then you'd forget about what happened. Wouldn't that make things better?
No.
Clear your head. Then if they ask, you're like, I didn't know.
Confused. What's going on here?
Well,
Oh, we're not supposed to be here.
You see, lassie, we've run into a problem. You're not supposed to be here. None of the four of you. And, well, you're not even supposed to know this place exists. Therein lies the problem. Now,
Oh,
your
why
two
is that?
friends here, assuming that they are your friends, we still haven't determined that, I suppose. These two lads
I
here.
have no idea who they are.
I see. Well, these two lads here have stumbled across something they weren't supposed to know exist, and, well, I'm assuming that the two of you did the same. You stumbled across a cabin in the woods and decided to break into it. He's staring at you and Tibber Ruva.
I came through the front door.
I don't break into places.
I see. He shifts his gaze back to Gil and Cash. So you two left the door unlocked. Oh, wonderfully delightful of you two to do that. Incredibly considerate.
I mean, I told you it was my fault. I don't know why there's confusion.
Indeed. Well,
Sounds
we
pretty
are.
clear.
We are coming to that conclusion, aren't we? Now then, I'll tell you two the same thing that I've told these two lads. You aren't supposed to know that anything is down here. So, either this turns to violence really quick, or you take my alternative offer. And he points to the potion sitting in front of him. This would be the offer.
Okay.
Sounds to me like you're not supposed to be here either. Why can't we know you're here?
My friend, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Most
But you're-
places wouldn't require you to forget your memory.
It's, just necessary, lad.
Right.
So is this how you treat all of your guests?
We
Whether
don't
they
have
belong
guests
here
down
or
here,
not?
lassie. We don't have guests.
Of course you do. How else would I be here?
An unlocked door does not a guest make, lassie.
Well, if I were to know where I was, wouldn't you think I was sent here?
Well, we haven't come to that question yet, but I suppose, were you sent here?
I think it would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Alright. This fellow stands back up again. He's got his hand tightened along his sword. Well, I'm afraid, lass, that makes things worse if you were sent here. Now we've got no choice.
Seems like a big exaggeration. Unless you're
Find it,
doing something wrong down here.
Now,
I
would you
find it
kind...
interesting that you
Would-
think that I was sent here by bad people as opposed to people who are good.
Well, anyone who sent you here without notifying us first, probably not authorized.
Probably. So you don't actually know.
Alright, well then, who sent you here? If you're so friendly.
Well, we're not supposed to use names.
Just kind of chuckles and looks at his other friends. Well, that's Bridget. And over there's Bert. And I'm Duvron. We're not supposed to use names. Well, that's a new one.
No. This is a terrible operation.
Aye, well. Way I see it, we can introduce ourselves as either way. You won't know this place exists after today.
Okay, if you say so. I mean, I don't even know where I am.
Doesn't matter. Well, hold on then, lass. You say you sent here, but you don't know where you are.
No, I was sent here, but I don't know why.
He's not buying this for a minute. You're going to make a deception check with disadvantage.
Mhm.
As what you're saying goes against everything he knows.
Wait, I have to make a deception check
With disadvantage.
Oh, I just assumed he wouldn't buy it at all.
It is a very high DC, but you're also making it with disadvantage because he's not buying a single thing. I just thought I'd offer you a chance.
Okay.
Because you double nat 20'd and found your way out of it. Well, lass, something about your story isn't adding up. And that places us at a very unfortunate point in time here.
Okay.
Now then, as I've extended the offer to the lads, you can drink this here potion. I'll split it amongst the four of you, and you will forget the events of today, and we will escort you out of our premises, and we will never see you again, and you will never see us again. Solved diplomatically and peacefully, or this can turn to violence very quickly. Now, which of the two would you prefer?
Oh. Wouldn't that leave us lost in the woods?
Only the day, assuming yesterday you knew where you were going.
Also, why would you make us all take it? Aren't they your friends?
He's talking about us.
Okay, just us. All right.
The four of you strangers is who I meant, lass.
4 strangers. I mean, I see 6 strangers. But also 6 potential friends.
Of course, of course, of course. Well, tell me, lass, what is your trade?
That's a difficult question.
Not from my perspective.
I'm very good.
Stonecutter, blacksmith, farmer. Anything will do. What's your trade? He kind of scans the rest of you as well. Oh, the other three can answer this question too if they wish.
I'm a farmer.
I'm a lumberjack.
I see. A farmer wandered so far into the woods. Why exactly? Looking for
A liar.
mystical liars. Is that farmer's business now?
I mean, no. But you don't really listen, do you? We're trying to do this for someone else.
I suppose. Yes, the two of you are chasing after fairy tales, I know.
Oh,
Wait,
but I have a
who's
question.
the liar?
The musical kind, lass.
Oh, okay.
Look, this is all rather exhausting. I'd rather get back to work. Can we just make the choice already?
I have a quick question.
I suppose. Go ahead.
Even if I take this and I
He
see
has
the
a
building,
question?
I'm just gonna want to come in again.
Well,
You can't change curiosity.
we would escort for you to the premises and, well, what direction are you headed, lad?
I'm not very good with directions. I just follow the wind.
Right, well, we'll place you a little bit further down the path of the wind then. Then you'll have no reason to turn around.
I mean,
Again,
realistically, I'm gonna forget about this after I leave, so
Well, we're going to be sure of that, aren't we, lad?
I mean, I work in these forests, so
And should you stumble across us again, we will repeat the process as long as you are willing to be peaceful.
that
Ah,
seems
well.
terribly inefficient.
Perhaps you've stumbled across us before, lad.
I'm gonna go off a limb and say I haven't,
How would you know?
because you don't seem very willing to do this again. You don't even seem willing to do it the first
Oh,
time.
I'm perfectly willing. All you have to do is drink this little potion here, lad. Perfectly
Yeah,
willing.
and I mean, I could just
I'd
walk
rather
out
this
the
not.
door, then I would just, like,
Aye,
not
but
come into this area.
you could blab to someone in a tavern.
I'm a lumberjack. I work in the woods alone.
I know, but should you run into anyone, we can't take that chance, unfortunately.
I was gonna motion for Gale to give him the potion.
How do we know it's gonna do what you say? It doesn't kill us.
Well,
I'm gonna level with you, Duvron.
all right.
I'm not gonna drink a potion that a stranger gave me.
Right. Well, that there is the problem.
So, You can let us go. Trust that we're not going to come back. Or I can leave your lab a smoldering pile of ash.
And I'm afraid
It's
I
up to you.
can't do that, lad. I can't let you go.
Okay, I'm immediately going to throw the potion into his face.
Okay.
I'm going to look at the other guys and be like, you guys have taken way too long with this.
I'll pull out a hand axe.
Can I knock this over?
During turns.
Okay.
We'll just do an initiative roll. And Kaj, no matter what your roll is, I'll put you that one little action at the top. Okay.
Okay.
Since you were the person who initiated.
Low health, low initiative. Let's go. Hope we live.
Weren't you healed?
I have 10 HP. I have no abilities.
Didn't you short rest? What were you
No.
doing in that hammock?
Just
It
napping,
was like 10
obviously.
minutes.
We could always just run.
I mean, I don't know how strong these guys are.
Alrighty.
I love the calming campfire in the back during all of this.
Yeah.
Really sets the mood. Oh shit.
Alright. So first things first, Kaz, you toss the potion at his face. And as you do, it shatters and kind of splashes his beard and face with the purple liquid that was contained within it. And so he, slightly blinded, begins to wipe that away from his face as the rest of you react to what Kaj has done. And first to be able to react as Kaj initiates a fight will be Ruva. So I'm just going to snap you to the grid, everybody. I'll put you guys here. And I'll snap them too. So Ruva, it is your turn. Did you say you're having
Okay.
internet problems?
Yeah, for some reason my Discord is being weird.
I see.
But well, you guys can still hear me. She takes out her bow and tries to hit that guy.
This fellow here?
Yep.
Very well, go ahead. Alright, that will hit. Alrighty. So you sink one of your arrows kind of into his shoulder as he's wiping away this potion from his face. And he sort of cries out in pain as he takes the 4 piercing.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Alright.
Oh, actually, can I sheathe the
You're good to go.
bow?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right. Now then, let me just make some notations quick, so I can tell these people apart. And you are. There we go. Hold on. All right. So, as Ruva draws her bow and looses an arrow into the shoulder of Duvron here, the other man who had sprung to his feet will unsheath his sword, as well as pull out a small glass bottle that was kind of sitting around his waist. And rather than charging in with his sword, he will throw the glass bottle, aiming at Kaj. And it will hit you. So the potion smashes in front of you and splashes outwards, and will actually hit Gale as well. And let me just make a roll. See what that does. It would help if I didn't drop the dice. Alrighty. So the two of you are only going to take 2 points of piercing damage as the glass shatters across you. But you begin to glow.
Real shit.
With a bright yellow light as this potion hits you. The two of you are now covered in this this liquid that is sort of imagine the liquid from inside a glow stick just covering you and glowing brightly.
Ew.
That'll be the end of his turn. Which will bring us to Bridget here, who will kind of, as she hears clatter from behind her, she was working. She spins around. In her lap was a crossbow, and she will spin around, level the crossbow at Gale, and fire it. Now, Gale is currently brightly illuminated, so she's going to make this attack with advantage. She's making a ranged attack. The first one would have missed, but the second one hits. So she's going to deal another 4 piercing to Gale. As you feel this bolt from the crossbow. Yeah, it really is. They do kind of look like her. And then she will begin to reload the crossbow as she ends her turn. Which will bring us to Gale, who just had a potion splashed across him and a crossbow bolt lodged into him. What do you want to do, Gale?
What would it take to shove this? I assume this is like something actually there.
So it is a large glass vat. I would have you make a strength check to push it off, as it's full of liquid and a little bit heavy.
Sure. Sure.
That was a
that's
save.
Even
Reroll.
worse.
I'll let you
Okay.
reroll.
Ooh.
Why do I roll so bad?
Not all that much better. You got close to it, but you still failed it. So I would say you shift it to the side of the table. It's now kind of up against the edge, but you aren't able to push it clean off during that turn. So if you were to reattempt, I would lower the DC, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Right. I would have to wait till next turn, though, correct?
That would be your action. So if you have any bonus actions or anything, you can still do that or move on your turn. But I would say that was your action. And then if you want to reattempt, you can use another action, and I'll lower the DC because you pushed it right up to the edge.
Okay. I'll bonus action Hexblade's Curse on this guy.
Very well. What's a cool? Is that cool? Do you like that one?
Yeah, that was cool.
Very well. All right. You point towards him, and you see this sigil carve itself across him in this glowing light. And he sort of reacts. He's just kind of finished wiping the potion out of his face, and now looks down to see that he's got both a arrow in his shoulder and an odd glowing sigil on his chest. What the bloody hell's going on here? So anything else, go?
Oh, that's it.
Very well. So that'll bring us to his turn. Recovering from the arrow he had knocked into him, he's going to begin to make his way a little bit. He draws the sword at his waist and begins to make his way around the table a little bit. And as he does, he is going to pull out a rather kind of large-bottomed square vial in his other hand. And he's going to toss it at Ruva.
Rude.
You're
14.
14? Yeah. Okay. Ooh, that was a 19. All right, well.
Ooh.
So let's roll that one as well. Okay. So this vial shatters across you, Ruva. So you take just 2 piercing from the glass. But in addition to that, you are covered in this like oily grease substance that drips sort of all over you, as well as slightly onto the floor around you. It doesn't really have much of an effect. Actually, no, sorry, it does. Right now, make a dex save for me.
Yikes.
So you pass it and don't immediately fall on your face
Fall, yeah.
from the slippery grease that he's thrown across you. But it still coats you.
Gross.
So we're going to give something to remember that as well. So he will end his turn there. And we will pass the initiative to Kash, who is glowing just like Gale. What would you like to do, Kash?
Okay, I would like to summon my wildfire spirit right here.
Very well. Point at the space again.
Right here.
Right there. Gotcha. So the rest of you see a flaming owl just sort of alight in the air and just begin to flap its wings. The rest of them kind of, the alchemists, just sort of look at it a little bit incredulously like, what the bloody hell is that? And this fellow here, fire in the laboratory! You're not supposed to have fire in the laboratory!
And then I think these two, it says within 10 feet, they have to pass a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. I will say this is within 10 feet too. It's going to make a dex save as well.
Uh-oh.
Alright. Let's go through them. Fails. Passes. Passes. Lucky.
Okay. And the one that didn't fail, let's take 2d6.
All right, roll your damage. 6. Very well. He sees sort of flames spread across the front of his apron there, and he kind of reacts, yelping painfully as the fire burns him and trying to pat it out. Bloody fire in the laboratory! Not supposed to be fire in the laboratory! As he kind of panics and tries to pat it out.
And then for my bonus action, I'm going to talk to my owl and say, hey, Sooty, that one, and point at this guy right here.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell him to do Flame Seed on his turn.
To do what, sorry?
Flame Seed. How do I ping it there? Can I ping this there? Maybe it's easier to just ping the whole thing.
I'll read it.
Okay.
Sorry, what'd you say you're using?
Flame Seed?
I literally cannot hear what you're saying.
Flame Seed, sorry. It's in its little, like, character card thing.
I see, okay, that makes sense. I just was mishearing it. Alright, so you're saying on its turn is what you're saying?
Right.
Which will just be right after yours, so if you're kind of done moving and stuff, then it can do that right now.
Yeah, I'll let my turn then.
Alright. Yeah, so it just uses your modifiers and stuff.
Okay, do I?
You can
That's
roll
for
it.
my- Oh, okay.
Yeah, just it uses your modifiers, so use your spell attack modifier.
Is there a specific spot where I find that to roll it, or just...
Yeah, in your spells, you have a list at the top there that shows your spell attack there. It's +5.
Okay.
Yeah, as it sort of bubbled, he didn't manage to, it didn't get inside as it's sort of a large glass vat, but flames licked up the side of the glass and you saw it kind of bubble slightly, yeah. Alright, that will hit then, so roll your damage. Another 6. Alrighty. As he's trying to put out these flames, you see more flames just sort of burst and reignite him as he panics once more, attempting to put them out and receives more burns in the process. Now he kind of has quite a bit of burns. You can see even his beard and hair are now singed as well as his clothing. So that'll be the end of your owl's turn. And we will then pass along to the shortest alchemist, who is sort of goblin height, large pointed ears, very pointed features. He's almost he's basically as short as this table here. He barely pokes up, but he is going to move forward a little bit, and then he kind of gets up on his tiptoes to peer over the table, and will throw a glass vial at Ruva. And that will be a 21. Jesus.
Okay.
So he will do... He will do 6 acid damage as the vial bursts at your forehead and shoots a sort of glob of acid across you, which immediately begins to kind of burn at your skin. And then he cackles and says, "Don't like that one, do you?"
Why are you so rude? Ruba asks in
Uh,
Sylvan.
He does not understand.
Spoken common, though.
Alrighty. So that'll end his turn and bring us right to Tibbs.
Tibbs is going to. Would you say I could go there? Around the corner like that?
Yeah.
Okay. He's gonna drop his hand axe and pull out his sword. And run here. And two-handed swing this little dude.
Very well.
No, he won't.
He manages to dance out of the way of your sword's blow, which sort of lodges instead into the planks below you, and you pull it back out again, and he cackles and giggles in delight. Does a little jig.
He hits his fucking side on the table.
Miss me, miss me.
That's all I can do.
I don't like that guy.
Very well. That rolls us right back around to Ruva. So you sheathed your bow last turn.
Mm-hmm.
So you currently have nothing out.
I can take out... Taking out a weapon right now would not take my action, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, Ruva's gonna... take out her bow again and attack this guy again.
Alrighty.
Or try to.
He's seen you with that bow before. This time he manages to just kind of step slightly to the side right as you shoot, and instead it clatters against the wood and falls to the floor, sort of behind him.
Okay.
Not gonna get me with that one again, lass.
Stand still next time.
Well, you folk
Ruva's
forced
gonna-
this. Remember that.
I tip nothing of the sort. Ruva's gonna move here. Oh wait, no, right there. Here, and then sheath the bow again.
Very well. That'll bring us to the fellow here who's now just completely covered in burns, but has managed to extinguish the flames enough to take his turn. And he will sort of shift to... You see kind of his hand go to his belt. Doesn't find any more potions. And will instead make his way up here and swing at you, Ruva, with his axe. Sorry, there was something I forgot to do for Ruva. You got lucky because I forgot, so we're just gonna skip this turn. It'll apply next turn though. But you got lucky because I forgot. And it's too late now. And that will be a 15. You're 14, right? Ruva?
Or looks like their Discord messing up again.
Yeah, probably. I
Ruva
believe
is 14.
Ruva's 14, yeah. Alrighty. Luckily he did not roll very high. If Ruva can't hear me, then I will write this down just in case. That was 2 slashing.
Sorry, I'm back.
So that'll be the end of his turn.
Did I take any damage?
You?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
We just did Ruva and the guy up here. So we're moving on. One of the other alchemists, the woman Bridget, shifts her way kind of down, keeping her distance from that flaming owl that flaps its way above the laboratory, and will level her crossbow at Tibber and fire a bolt.
17 AC.
She misses. She has been a little too cautious to not hit her compatriots, and the bolt sails over your head and clatters across the room. You hear curses, and instead of immediately moving to reload, she begins to sort of search around on her belt instead, and that'll be the end of her turn. So it is now Gale's turn.
Good. Try again. Knock this over. Try and go towards this guy.
Yeah, you can push it to that square.
Good, good. This time I'm using actual dice. 14.
Alright. It was 2 slashing, Ruva. So I think you're at, what, 5? Alright, that was a success, Gale. So you, with this potion vat now sort of sitting at the edge of the table, you put your back into it and give it another good shove, and it kind of rolls its way off the table and shatters on the ground here. And as it does, it splashes on this fellow here who's currently facing Tibbs. Just kind of coats his back. So roll a d20 for me, Gale. I could do it, but I'd rather you do it.
That's alright. 16. Give me something good.
Very well. So he, as this potion kind of spreads across him, you actually kind of smell, Tibber, you smell this too, this very sort of acrid, bitter smell. It smells like ever so slightly sweet, but just sort of wrong. It smells like burnt apples. And as it splashes across this little goblin fellow in front of you, Tibber, he begins to just kind of hack and cough and choke, which continues on past Gale's turn.
Huh. Step, step. Step.
I'm just going to put a symbol to remind me.
That'll be it for me.
Very well. That brings us to Duvron's turn here. Seeing that you're sort of approaching him, Gale, he will sort of turn his attention from Tibber, who he was winding up to hit, but now will focus on you. And instead will reach with his empty hand to grab another potion bottle. And he will toss that at you. He rolled a 5. So that potion just splashes harmlessly, shattering the glass past you and does not affect you. Though it does kind of stain the floorboards an odd color. Curses! And then he will sort of kind of back his way up away from you. Which will bring us to Kaj.
Kaj wants to produce flame and throw it at the guy that's up here next to Ruva.
Yep, go ahead. That will hit. Alrighty. So as he focuses attempting to strike Ruva, you slam him in the side with a little orb of fire, which quickly bursts across him and knocks him right off of his feet. And still crackling with fire, he falls to the ground. Now I'm going to make a roll for that, as this is a very particular environment.
No. Careful with the fire, gosh.
All right. So it's not a large fire, but it does begin to crackle along some of the kind of papers that he had tucked into his satchel, and he still kind of continues to burn a little bit after he falls to the ground. So it's a very small flame right now, though it may spread.
Okay. And then I'm going to command my owl to use flame seed to get at the lady down here on his turn.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just end my turn there then.
Very well. Alright, so make his rolls for him. This time it will miss.
Yeah, okay.
As he sort of ducks her head. Bloody hell, what was that? So that will end the owl's turn too.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll move on to this fellow here, who will immediately use up his bonus action and half of his movement coughing from this acrid potion that Gale splashed across him. But as he sort of he just kind of, eyes watering slightly, takes a blind swipe at Tibbs. With the sword that he's holding. And he rolled a 17. Is that your AC or are you 18?
Yep.
Oh, right, yeah, you don't have the shield. For some reason, I keep thinking you're higher, and then I remember that you don't have the shield. Very well. Then he will slash you with 3 slashing. He does not manage to get a very good hit in there, as he is still eyes watering and coughing a lung out from Gale's potion. Which will pass the initiative order immediately back to you, Tibber.
I'm gonna swing at him again.
Very well. 12 will hit.
10 damage.
Alrighty. So as he coughs up one of his lungs, the other, you manage to find an opening and open up a rather big wound across his chest. And he sort of reels back from it. Very well. Then we immediately go back to Ruva. Ruva, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. So the guy that you were currently engaging in combat was sort of sideswiped by a bolt of flame from Kaj and knocked right off his feet. And so he's on the ground motionless and crackling a little bit with fire. Some of the papers that he had stuffed into his satchel have caught flame.
Okay.
And so there's a small little fire there kind of growing from his satchel.
Well, I can't put that out because I'm greased right now.
You are indeed greased.
We're just gonna go
All right.
here.
You're not getting away from it this turn. I forgot the last time, but you're not getting away from it this turn. As you move, your feet kind of slide out from under you, so make a dex save for me as you move.
Dex. Oh no.
All right.
Oh,
Even though you
let's
slip
do a
and
cool
slide,
flip.
instead you sort of almost skate across the wooden boards. I'm actually going to give you 10 extra movement
Mm.
from that excellent roll.
What can I do with this? I'm gonna take the bow out again and go for the little laughing dude.
Very well. So the rest of you see
Oh
Ruva as if
my-
on ice skates, just sort of quickly make her way across the wooden planks and pull herself to a halt and fire an arrow. But perhaps she's moving a little too fast because this shot goes wide. That was polar opposite rolls, and that's very hilarious.
Amazing.
It's too much speed. You've ascended to a little bit too high of a level of speed there. Gotta slow things down.
Nobody saw that. That's what Ruva says. And she's not gonna move anymore. I think that's the end of her turn.
Very well. That brings us to our fellow here. So the flames grow a little bit larger on his turn, but he is down, so he's not doing anything. So next up will be this lass here, who sort of decided to not reload her crossbow last turn and instead will sort of reposition. She pulls a potion off of her belt and will toss that at Ruva. It is not catching much of a break. But she rolls a 6. So the potion does not hit you. You don't take any damage. Sorry, that was the wrong dice. There we go.
I'm gonna attribute that to all the slipping and sliding.
Alright, as this one bursts, you just see a vine just sort of push its way out of the floor where it hit. It's away from you, it missed. It's not in anybody's range. But vines just kind of push their way up through the floorboards where this potion lands and splashes across the wood. So that'll end her turn and bring us to go.
Alright. Step. And we're gonna swing at the little goblin.
Very well.
That's only a 13.
It still is.
Oh, good. Gotta remember what dice is a D10. Oh, goodness gracious.
It's that weird shaped one.
Is it the diamond one?
The one that kind of looks like a top.
Should be. It's a D8. So crazy. That's 4 damage.
Gotcha. So you lash out at him and cause another injury to add to the one that he's already got across his chest. He is still coughing and sputtering.
Great, that'll be my turn.
Very well. That'll bring us to Duvron's turn, and he will swing at Tibbs with a sword. But a natural one will not hit.
Oof.
Bloody violence, I loathe violence. We'll pass right along. I don't think he's going to move, really. Pass that right along to Kosh.
Gonna produce flame and throw it at this lady again.
Yep.
Oh. Pain.
I'll hit. Alrighty. She's sort of focused on Ruva, but you catch her shoulder with a little orb of flame, and it sort of spreads across the shoulder, and you can see her kind of yelp in pain from the burns, and she tries to kind of pat it out with her other hand.
I'm gonna command my spirit to shoot fire at her again next turn on his turn.
Very well. So if you end your turn and don't want to move, then we can do that right now.
Yep, I'll end mine. And
That'll hit as well.
one second, lost it. There it is.
Alrighty. So the fire she was trying to pat out catches fire once more and spreads even further down her arm. Now she's got rather severe looking burns that have spread sort of to her chest and neck. As she continues to panic. And
that'll be it for him too.
that'll be it for him. So our goblin friend here will make a con save to try to end that effect, which he fails. So he will continue to cough and spend half his movement and a bonus action doing it. But will attempt to use his action to swipe once again at Tibbs. But a 14 will not hit you. So it's now your turn, Tibber.
I'm gonna do the swing on this guy.
Very well.
No, I won't. I somehow hit the table with my side again.
The sword flies dangerously close to you, Gal.
Hey, stop that.
Sorry.
So if
That's my turn.
that's all Tibbs, then Ruva, it is your turn.
Ruva's gonna-
Sorry, just one sec. With the one successful save that you made on your last turn, about half the oil is kind of rubbed off of you.
Oh, cool. Some less slippy.
You are not less slippy, but it's half gone, I would say.
Okay. Ruva's just gonna try and shoot this guy again.
Very well. You hit.
That good sneak.
Yeah, you get your sneak damage. And this one kind of hits him in the rib cage as he attempts to cough. And now he looks pretty wounded. He's got some blood trickling down him. He's got quite a few wounds all across him. So he looks pretty battered now.
Finally, something for me to laugh about. I think we're just gonna. Oh, if I move, I'm gonna have to do that thing. Alright, we're just gonna stay here.
Very well. You stay in your kind of steady position that you got yourself in now, not moving so that you don't slip anymore. And that'll pass us to the dead fellow. The fire has sort of grown, using the papers in his satchel as fuel, and now is sort of looking at the table legs here, spreading to the table, and beginning to make its way up. Which will then move us to this lady here. And she, having thrown her bow in last turn, will instead use her crossbow, which she places a bolt in, and will level at Kaj, who has been harassing her the last turn. And pulling the trigger, fire a bolt right at you. That was an 18. I'm assuming that hits. Your, but I don't have you written down. What's your AC?
14.
Okay. And then Tibbs right now is 17, and then I'll write the little. Yeah, there you go. I had 2 of you written down, but not the other 2. I don't know why. I have like the little cheat sheet in front of me, so I don't have to look at anything else. I can just kind of reference it quick. But I didn't have you guys written down for some reason. All right, so that'll hit you as this bolt lodges in your side. Ooh, that was a big roll. That'll hit you for 7 piercing. She hits a vital point. Her aim enhanced by the fact that you are still glowing. Which will pass our turn right along to go.
Ah, yes. Oh, no. That's an 8.
Assuming that you're slashing again at the goblin fellow?
I was trying to.
Yeah, so that'll miss.
Yeah.
And he coughs out a little. You missed!
And you're short!
Wow.
He just kind of looks sad for a moment.
That's all I can do.
Anything else, Gil?
No, that's it.
Okay. That'll bring us to Duvron. Who's going to reposition and not making any purchase on Tiber's armor, instead go for you, Gil. So that one is going to hit you with a 16 for 3 slashing.
Are you picking on me?
Well, gotta do what I gotta do. Don't forget, you lads forced this.
I forgot about that.
And that'll be the end of his turn, which will pass us right to Kash.
Use flame and throw it at her again.
Very well. That will unfortunately miss.
Okay. And then I'll command my spirit to shoot fire at her on his turn, then end my turn.
Very well. I roll for him. That one will hit. 7 damage. Alrighty. So, as the flames burst across her from your wildfire spirit, she sort of drops to the ground, rolling with the fire that kind of covers her, attempting to put it out, but she does not succeed. And eventually you just see her stop rolling and stop moving altogether.
No, Whoopi Goldberg.
And let me see. Alright. The flames on her sputter and peter out and don't catch any more fire. So that'll bring us to Goblin Fella, who will finally succeed in clearing this potion from his lungs.
Hey, good for him.
And then, moving pretty quickly, he will attempt to kind of step back from you two as he reaches into his belt.
Too quick for us, I take it.
Indeed.
Fucking rogues.
Nah, man, that's just a goblin thing.
That is a goblin thing. Slippery fellows.
They're basically rogues.
They are basically rogues, yeah. And then reaching into his belt,
Bro.
he is going to toss another little pot of acid that he threw at Ruva at Gale. So Gale, that is going to hit you. And then Tibbs and this fellow are going to make dex saves.
I'm not good at these.
Gale.
I said I'm not good at them.
Gale, you take 5 acid damage.
Oh, yeah, I do, buddy. Okay, bye.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Get
And
fucking
then
donked.
Tibbs, you take 5 acid damage as well.
Ouch.
And actually, the one thing he's done right so far is that he managed to sidestep that one.
What a gamer, dude. What the fuck?
As the acid splashes across the 3 of you. Alrighty. Let me just update everything that happened there. Okay. That's the end of his turn, which will pass us to Tibbs. So Gil was just covered in acid, and in the attempt to sort of wipe it off of himself, he seems sort of choke and fall to the ground. What would you like to do, Tipper?
It's not the smartest decision, but it's one that Tib would do. He's gonna try and go after the goblin.
Alright, he'll swipe at you, but he rolls a 4.
Get fucked. I'm gonna swipe at the little dude.
That'll hit.
Damn. 4 damage.
Damn, indeed.
Fair enough. Who knows?
So you get another slash across him, stepping forward, managing to avoid a swipe from Duvron, and instead attack the goblin fellow. The wound that you open is just a little bit shallow, unfortunately. So you do cause a little bit of damage, but he's still standing. Though he does look quite ragged and is just kind of covered in blood.
I'll move there and then it'll be my turn.
Very well. So Ruva, lots of stuff has happened since your last turn, including several people who now look quite battered and beaten, as well as Gale sort of dropping down below the table out of your sight. You definitely know where he is, though.
Okay, how
You
much
kind of see his legs
movement-
sticking out.
How much movement would it take to get here?
The tables themselves
Like-
aren't incredibly tall.
Okay, so I
They're
can-
only 3-ish, 4-ish feet because they're a little shorter to accommodate our friend here. And so I would just say you could just move that as normal. You're pretty nimble.
Okay, rude, but also, yeah, Rude was gonna go here, and then,
See- You will make the
dagger
dex save
into-
as well, though.
Oh no! I forgot about
If you eat
that.
shit, I'm gonna laugh. I'm sorry.
I will. You know I will.
Oh
Dude,
my.
rogues. I hate rogues.
Never mind.
All right, so
Alright.
again, I'll give you that extra 10 feet, but I don't think you won't really have much use for it.
Who knows? And then I'm
Um,
gonna.
So the rest of you who are currently up and standing see Ruva sort of slide her way across the wooden floor and then just do like almost like a skateboard trick, but she's like grinding with her feet across the table, and she just kind of does like an action movie slide across the table and pulls out her dagger in the meantime and just launches off the table at the goblin. Roll your attack. And you hit. You'll take sneak attack damage too. All right. So Tibbs, you see Ruva do this like action movie slide across the table, covered in grease, and then pull her dagger out and just sink it right straight into the center of this goblin's chest. And he just sort of not seeing it coming at all, just and just falls to the floor dead. As Ruva, you can stay in that space there, but you're on the floor. In addition to that, with your second save, you've managed to rub off most of the grease, and you are no longer slippery.
Okay. If I move, because I still have a bonus action, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If I move here, am I able to stabilize him?
It'd be an action.
Okay. I'm gonna go move right here. And that'll be it.
Very well. So we skip
Oh,
across.
and also sheath dagger.
So we skip across the two dead alchemists, which brings us back to Gale. So make a death save for me. All right, so that'll be one failure. And moving across will bring us to Duvron here, who just kind of, you see his face like kind of filled with sorrow. Bloody hell. I liked those folk.
If you're sad, just drink a potion.
No, not today, lass. Nothing for it then. Very well. And he will charge at Tibbs and slash at you. But a 10 will not hit you.
Okay.
Half-heartedly slash.
Indeed. Got tears in his eyes. Which will pass us to Kaj.
Okay. Kaj is going to move down here. Produce
Throw.
flame and throw it at Duvron.
Okay. A 12 is going to be a miss, unfortunately.
Okay. And then we'll command the spirit to go after him as well.
Very well.
And in my turn.
Alrighty. So make your rolls for the spirit. That'll hit. Alright. So a burst of flame covers him, and he kind of writhes around it and attempts to pat it out. Now significantly injured, but just sort of flailing around on fire. Which will skip us across to Tibbs.
He's gonna swing. And he's gonna hit his side on the table.
Damn.
That's
Forgot
all,
that.
folks. Gosh, is over here farming stats.
Yeah, technically it drops, but the only guy who was really making much use of it was the guy who went down. So I was focusing on other things. But okay, so that was a miss then, Tibbs.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Unfortunately, which will roll us right back around to Ruva. What would you like to do? You tucked your dagger away.
Where is that
Yeah, I got you.
potion? Where's the potion that would have done the memory thing? Who has that? Is that on the table?
I think it was just. We'll just say it was sitting on the table.
Didn't Kosh throw it at the guy's face?
Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
threw it
but
at the
I
face and it
smashed
shattered.
it
Oh
in his
yeah, you're right.
Oh,
I completely
yeah.
forgot. Yeah,
Oh, so
too much
sad.
combat
Okay.
in between now and then. I forgot. But yeah, that one's smashed and splashed.
All right, River's just gonna take out the short bow and try and hit him.
Very well. Go for it. That'll hit. And you'll get Tibbs will grant you sneak attack.
One sneak attack.
And so that arrow lodges itself in his throat, and he falls to the ground, dead as well. And with that,
Dang.
silence falls across the laboratory.
Akash is gonna go and try and stabilize Cal.
Very
Can I
well.
help him?
Sure.
Can someone also put the fire out?
A little busy.
I think we should probably just hurry up and get out of here.
Mm, but there's so much stuff to take. River's gonna start checking these bodies.
All right.
And do I need to do like a medicine roll or?
Yeah, make a medicine roll. So they just have short swords, a crossbow, and then they've threw most of their vials, I believe, at you. Let me double check. I don't think they have any extras. No. So these two do not have any extra vials. This guy, I think I said, threw his last one. Yeah. And I don't believe Duvron had one either. No. They expended their vials.
They don't
So-
have money or anything.
They do.
Okay.
Though they don't appear to be incredibly rich folk. They're wearing sort of the clothing that you guys saw before, those sort of smocks that are covered in stains. They're all sort of wearing that. Not the kind of clothing that you would wear around. They're wearing kind of aprons and sort of ragged clothing with purple and green and blue stains across it. So collectively you find 17 gold amongst them.
Gold or griffs?
The same thing.
Okay.
This would wither and die after this long. Medicine check successful. Gale is stabilized, no longer making death saves.
Yeah.
All good, Gil?
Though he would not wake up.
Tibbs, if you would do the honors.
Yeah, sure. I was gonna say I slap him, but I'm not. I'll just pick him up.
Okay.
But,
So strewn throughout the laboratory, there is also the fire over here as well.
Hmm.
Is that what you're talking about, Kash?
Oh no, I was gonna do something else.
Oh, okay. Then tell me what you're gonna do.
Oh, I was gonna just call my owl and pat him on the head and let him go.
Very well.
Can
Good
Ruva
job.
look at this letter?
Yeah, you can grab the letter. The letter that sits here on this table, next to sort of a small little knife, not like a dagger or anything like that, but just sort of one that you use for chopping, and a bowl on the table, as well as a small little plant that sits over here, as well as on the far end of it, there is a bottle with a greenish liquid in it. But sitting right near you, near the candle, Ruva, is a sealed envelope, and the envelope itself has a wax seal with an insignia sort of printed into it. Would you
Okay,
like to see the insignia?
Yes, please.
All right. So the symbol that is pressed into the wax of this envelope here looks like this. It is a mask with a crown above it.
Mask.
Wicked eyebrows.
Riva's gonna pocket the letter and check out the potion you said.
All right. It's sort of a rounded, slightly glass vial here that contains a greenish, sort of a pale, almost lime green, with a cork in the top of it. That is just your quintessential potion bottle.
Can I tell if it's like, what do I know about it? Is it the same as the other green one that I picked up earlier that I just knew wasn't poison? Or
It is not the same.
okay.
But with that medicine check, this one also does not look like poison.
Okay. Riva's also gonna pocket that.
I was just gonna pocket the wings that are on this table here.
And then Ruva's gonna check him.
All right. I just assumed you checked all of them. That was the collective gold. I said that he's got another short sword, but that's about it. The fire does still crackle and begin to spread. It has now licked itself up and has reached the edge of this table here. Sorry, what were you pointing at?
Basically, any potion that Ruva can take, she will try to.
Yep, there's just a whole bunch of potions everywhere.
Okay.
That's a little quirk there. This appears to be some sort of either tooth or tusk. There's the plate here that had some kind of very dainty, almost insect-like wings on it. There's some pine cones and acorns sitting on the table next to them, as well as another bottle.
Yep. Riva pockets all of it.
Very well. In the center of the chamber is these tables here that have a kind of square glass bottle, as well as a powder, a green powder in a bowl, with some feathers lying next to it, and a spoon to stir it. This vat here has been smashed, so I'm gonna cross that one out.
Okay, she'll take the feathers and the potion.
2 more potions. All these potions are entirely different from each other. They are different colors, different shades of those colors, different bottle sizes. Just every variety. But the bowl here has an eyeball in it, with some of the nerves still connected.
Yeah, she'll just take everything she can.
Very well. The next part of this table is on fire.
Yeah, she's gonna get out of there now.
It has only just sort of spread to the base of the table here, and it's just kind of looking up onto the top of it. But there's some sort of antler, a couple more potions, a flower here that was starting to get singed, as well as 2 more potions here. This vat here, kind of an alembic with churning potion inside of it, as you can see, sort of bubbling and letting out little bits of steam, as well as what appears to be sort of a centrifuge, to a bunch of sort of spinning metal rings with a sort of glass chamber in the center of it.
She'll just take the 2 potions and get out of the room.
Very well. And then, of course, up here, there's just another vat full of liquid. So nobody put this out, so this is going to spread.
Mhm.
As the 4 of you with Tibercary and Gale make your way back through the storage. So keep it here. Grab you 2. Bring you over here.
Shame about these books. You see one you want, Rivet?
I see a lot I want.
Well, you're gonna be Ash here soon. Gosh, just gonna pick one that he likes and like put it in his bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're on all sorts of spell components, so what would catch your eye?
Anything that has to do with fire.
Anything that has to do with fire.
Yeah.
That's actually a difficult one.
Is there anything that has gold on its binding?
Probably not, I would say. These are pretty old, kind of dusty tomes. In regards to fire, I would say maybe there could be a book on the application of heat sources on spell components.
Okay, sounds good.
Sort of about boiling and brewing stuff. I could see that existing here.
Okay, yeah, he'll take that and put it in his bag,
Very well.
and then hurry on out.
Riva's just gonna check for any that have to do with poison, and then any that might have to do with like weird diseases.
Okay. Nothing on diseases. But there is a book called Poisons for Beginners.
This'll be boring, but I'll take it anyways.
Ruva, you hear more and more crackling as you kind of pull that book off the shelf, and then you hear sort of the cracking of glass from beyond in that room as well.
Uh-oh. I should probably start running.
Standing next to Tibbs, I'm like, we definitely don't want to be here when this room catches fire. But when Kaj says that, he doesn't even look scared. He just looks excited.
Okay, guys. We should probably leave. There's a lot of cannon powder in here.
So the 4 of you quickly make your way out of the larger storage chamber and back down to the crossroads at the end of the hallway.
Gale.
Gale is being carried by Tibbs.
Gal's unconscious.
And quickly scrabble your way up the
Yep.
the ladder and back to the small little cabin above it. Alrighty.
Tibbs is still carrying you.
Mm.
How are we gonna wake him up?
I don't know.
He'll wake up
Maybe
in
the
a bit.
explosion will do it.
Yeah,
You just need some time to rest.
I have
so-
a whole bunch of new potions.
Quickly making your way out of the Alchemist shack, you make your way back out into the clearing in the woods here. and hear the sounds of the forest. A little bit of time has passed since you guys were down there. So we're sort of evening now, I'd say. And this map has not loaded for us on the chat end of things. But give me a moment.
You guys do know that you just, like, committed several crimes.
It's my idea to go in there.
What do you mean?
Should I list them off?
I don't think any crimes were committed. It's fine. Besides, I'm sure everything works out.
Just them arrest this time.
I mean, it didn't have to be, but luckily, I think they were bad people, so
Right. That drink
Maybe.
they were offering us, it definitely would have knocked us out.
I don't think
yeah,
they
but
were
we were
very bad people. They didn't
technically
immediately
trespassing.
try and, kill us.
I think we're the bad people here.
I just think that a whole bunch of circumstances happened, and this was how everything turned out.
Try explaining
Besides,
that to a judge.
what judge? I see no judge. Besides, they said no one knew about that place, so then I guess no one will know if they're no longer alive.
Especially after this place is a crater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We should probably move a bit more, actually.
Yep.
Let's just take a casual walk in the woods.
So as you guys kind of make your way along out of this clearing here and back out into the woods, Ruva is clanking and jangling with the sound of glass rubbing up against each other. As I think you have, what, 10 potions?
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe 11.
We'll
'Cause
say,
I had
we'll say
4
11.
on me.
We'll say 11. Plus there was a couple that you had, so let's go with 13.
Yeah.
I'll write that down as the hard number that you have.
Today was a good day. Right, Kosh? There was fire. I know you love fire.
He chose ashes.
You two are a terror on this land.
What? I think the real terror is unconscious right now.
I could at least give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got the mental capacity of like a little kid.
Wow.
You two knew full well what you were doing.
Wow. That's not very nice, Tibbs.
Not everything deserves to be nice.
Okay, well, you're acting like that really mean goblin guy there.
Are you comparing me to a goblin?
What like I do?
Is it 'cause I'm
guys
green?
anyways? You guys are all focusing on that guy.
Well, he's dead now, so I guess it doesn't matter.
I think you're being racist.
Racist? I'm in no position to be racist. I'm an orphan.
That makes no sense.
So, the four of you make your way sort of west from the clearing in the direction that you were headed. And now we're just surrounded once more by the tall evergreen trees of the deep green domain.
We have to go south.
We find a place to rest until Gale wakes up.
It's
Or-
currently sort of evening. The sun is sort of beginning to drop.
If can we go for a little bit longer? I feel like we haven't made any
No.
progress today. Okay.
I am on death's door carrying an unconscious kid.
If we run into anything else, we won't be able to.
All right. Well, I
do too
mean,
much.
I was told that Tibor was built different.
I'm gonna
so-
drop Gale off here.
I think we should set up a tent for him.
I will set out a bedroll for him.
Okay.
Should we shove food down his throat or something?
Do you want to kill him?
I don't think that's the right way to do it.
Hmm. Okay.
I'll keep an eye
Ruv,
on it.
are you trying to help us here?
What do you mean?
I don't know if I can be convinced that you're trying to help.
There we go.
I've been helping you.
Fancy bedroll.
Yeah, I know. I've been helping you this entire time.
Have you?
Where's this coming from?
We'll continue later.
Okay.
Please step away from Gale. I don't want you to hurt him.
I'm not gonna. Why would I hurt? You know what? Okay. Riva's gonna make a little camp here.
Very well.
Is just gonna sit here next to Gale.
All right. So you guys, I presume, were the bedrolls for Gale.
Yeah, I kind of just sat him down in the bedroll. I didn't.
I like to imagine you lay down the bedroll like away from him when you said that you'd lay down a bedroll for him. This is his.
I just kind of pictured him laying in a bedroll, and I'm like just sitting next to him. Really, like his head is at my leg.
Very well. So the intention is to camp for the night then?
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, you could just do a short rest too, but weird.
You could, but it basically just ends you
Yeah.
up at nighttime.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Then we will do a long rest. What does your camp involve, Ruva?
Just a little fire pit, and then yeah, just takes shelter, kind of under this tree.
Alrighty. So you guys can do the long rests on each of your character sheets. But let's take a break as well.
Okay.
While you guys do that. So run to the bathroom, grab water, grab a snack. Chat, you can do that as well. We'll be back in a few minutes. So it is a long rest for the party and a short rest for chat.
Very-
I'm
Last time
alive!
Yeah, I know. Poor thing. Everyone's
did you?
picking on Ruva today.
Did Gil get to hit anybody, or was that just like a super unlucky round?
What happened?
Did you get to hit anybody?
Yeah, once.
Oh.
I got exactly one hit in.
Hey, I critically failed twice
Well.
as well, so.
2 if you count making the goblin cough and have
Oh, yeah.
disadvantage. That's about it, though.
I think my spirit was carrying me. I think you didn't miss.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Your spirit was carrying you.
By this point, you might as well just kill Gale. He is rolling poo poo. We're gonna re-roll until I get it right.
He's the team mascot.
Honestly, I'm just the catalyst for trouble.
I know. I like
Sneaking
how
into a
all
house
this is
turned
done.
into murder and arson.
Yeah, I was waiting on. I was like, where are the people in this house? Are they just gone? Oh no, there they are.
Oh wait,
Cool.
there they
I'm back.
are. Terrible.
Unlucky for them.
Gil
Yeah,
broke into
for-
a house and murdered all of the occupants. That's what just happened right there.
Did you say Gale did that?
You broke
Yep.
in too.
Bro,
I-
I didn't. I barely touched them.
Yeah, Tibbs and I were waiting outside.
Yeah,
really
me and
bad.
Cod are the only ones that didn't break in.
All I did was follow him to make sure he was okay. And then I
Didn't you
get the
kill like 2 of them?
Didn't
I
you pick the
don't
lock on the
remember
trapdoor?
that. I don't remember that either. Okay, I don't know
She
what you guys are
unlocked
talking
the
about.
trapdoor. She welcomed my curiosity.
Yeah, sure. Blame Rover for this. Sure. This is
Yeah.
clearly all Gale's fault.
No, I'm just a catalyst. You accepted it and followed through with it. It's clearly your fault, your decision. You should have not followed. I don't know if you remember, but I rolled a very low perception roll. I was not gonna get that trap door open.
Unfortunate. This is how the wildfire works, guys. Who knows who it'll burn?
Move.
Alrighty. The DM returns. Are we missing anybody?
Nope.
I'm here.
You sure?
I mean, now I am.
She's talking, isn't she? Pepega.
Tibbs, let's hear it.
Very well. So each of you sort of sets up where you will for the night, and just sort of find a makeshift camp to wait until nightfall and drift off to sleep. And about maybe 40-ish minutes after you all settle in and perhaps eat or make small fires, whatever, to keep you warm throughout the night, you hear just a massive explosion. And then see a black cloud begin to wisp itself up in the distance, sort of just above the tree line. So let me just make note of that. Very well. All right. So you hear that massive explosion in the distance, and I imagine can estimate what that was.
I was just gonna
But-
smile, like looking at it, and just say to himself, "Ashes."
But the rest of your night is a little more quiet than that. As the evening goes smoothly. I don't know if you want to take watches or not, or if you're all a little exhausted. It's up to you.
Ruba's just gonna take inventory of all that she has, all the stuff she got.
All right. You've got a very large mess of ingredients, as well as quite a few bottles that are taking up a pretty decent space in your bag now. Each of,
I'm tired.
if you want to take a look at the potions, each of them are different. They are
Ooh.
in all sorts of types of bottles. Some of them are kind of long and thin and kind of twist back and forth slightly like a wave. Some of them are short and kind of fat and rectangular. Some of them are perfectly smooth. So you're just looking through the potions, yeah?
Yep, just seeing if they can tell if they know any of them or anything.
Gotcha. Make an investigation and a medicine for me. We'll do it that way.
Investigation. Menace.
Oof. All right. Impossible to determine if any of these are harmful.
No.
With your investigation, these are certainly potions. So some of them may have an effect by being thrown, but the general intention from a lot of these seems to be that they are intended to be drank.
Mm-hmm.
As you are examining one of them with that investigation roll, you find sort of a very smooth, rounded glass bottle, just almost like a perfect sphere with a little neck on the end that sits up a little bit with a cork in it. It is entirely smooth to the point where you wonder how it was even sitting on that table in the first place without rolling. And as you sort of take a peek at it, the bottle shakes slightly in your hand. What do you do?
Just look at it
Okay.
and then look around and see if it was actually like not believing it's shaking.
Okay. Then the shaking begins to intensify, and then with a small little pop, you see it grow arms and legs, as well as a small little face up near the neck, as the potion within continues to swirl around inside of it. So sitting in your hands is a tiny little bottle golem.
Oh.
Hi. What are you?
And
You're so cute.
as it sort of sits in your hands there, it begins to kind of wiggle itself and will actually attempt to escape your grasp.
Oh, Ruva will gently put it down.
Okay. Then it won't have anything to resist. So as you sort of place it down in the grass, it waddles back and forth. It is very sort of rotund. The circle of the bottle forming almost sort of a very large belly. And it sort of waddles back and forth in the grass, kind of looking around.
It's adorable. Hi. Where are you going?
It just sort of wanders around, not really able to find what it's looking for.
Ruva's gonna set a potion down right there. Another potion.
Another potion?
Mm-hmm.
It just sort of examines the other potion. And it sort of inspects it. It's just sort of looking at it. You see it kind of run its own little hands along it. Make an insight check if you want to determine what it's doing. Right? You're not able to see what it's doing, but eventually, seemingly satisfied, you just see it give a small little nod and then begin to waddle around again.
We're just gonna put a different potion down.
All right. It repeats the process. And then eventually
checks quality.
Eventually satisfied, it just waddles around again.
Wait, come back.
It pauses and just kind of stares at you. The creature does not speak, from what you can tell.
You have to stay with me, okay?
Just sort of stares emptily back at you.
Riva's gonna pick it up.
It allows you. But you see
Okay.
it kind of continue to spin slightly and kind of look around its environment. It's looking for something and it has not found it yet.
Riva's gonna take it back to the bag and then just like kind of put it with all of the stuff that was in the bag.
Okay. As you sort of place it back amongst the other bottles, you see it just sort of pull those arms and legs back into itself, and the face fades, and it just looks like a normal potion bottle now.
Yeah, Riva's just gonna put all of the bottles back together.
All right, yeah, you go back and grab the other two that you placed in front of
Mhm.
it and place those with the others. When it doesn't have its face and arms and legs, it is indistinguishable from any other bottle, other than it just has a very smooth surface to it that doesn't kind of stand on its own.
Okay. I have to name that now.
So if you don't want to do anything else, then we can do the long rest. That was just sort of right before your long rest.
Oh, can we just quick look at the letter?
Ah, of course, yeah. If you want to read the letter. So it is sealed with wax, so you will have to slice it open with something sharp to access the contents, or just rip around the seal if you want to keep that intact.
Yep, they're gonna rip around the seal to keep it intact.
Very well. That's